Also, I'd like to thank OnePlus for bringing back the alert slider. I fail to understand why other Android phones don't have this feature. Even my laptop on which I edit 4K videos has 16 GB RAM. Here I have 16 plus 12 in my hand. Now, even with all the upgrades and top of the line specs here, there are a couple of things that I truly miss on this phone. Hi there, here is the OnePlus 11, which I've been using as my secondary phone for over a month now. And little did I realize that this will soon become my primary device. The reason is simple. OnePlus has got a lot of things right with their latest flagship. Firstly, the ergonomics, the design, the display, the performance, the camera, and the biggest one being for me, the experience. Also, I'd like to thank OnePlus for bringing back the alert slider. I fail to understand why other Android phones don't have this feature. Just like USB-C, this one too should be mandatory. It's so convenient. In fact, it's so important. Now, even with all the upgrades and top of the line specs here, there are a couple of things that I truly miss on this phone. They might be insignificant for some, but still worth sharing. Also, I'm going to review this phone from a user's perspective and not just specs and benchmarks. And I'm sure you all have seen tons of videos with benchmarks and specs and all that. So I won't bore you with that. Let me start with the good stuff. I loved the design. It's not the slimmest phone out there, but definitely very ergonomic when you hold it in the hand. Some might find curved displays slippery, which I agree, but I have never dropped it. If you're someone who's finicky, you can use the provided cover for added protection and grip. The round camera module with Hasselblad branding clearly stands out. The back is made of glass with Gorilla Glass 5 protection, matte black sand texture which doesn't attract fingerprint or smudges, and it's really good. But the phone lacks wireless charging. Like I said earlier, it might seem insignificant for some, but for me, I really miss it. Above that, I miss the reverse charging, especially now since I have the OnePlus Buds Pro 2 that come with wireless charging. It would have been great to have that on this phone. I'm assuming wireless charging isn't really fast and it increases the cost of the phone, hence they decided to drop it. Then the display on the OnePlus 11 is absolutely gorgeous. One of the best, and I can easily vouch for that. 120Hz QHD Plus AMOLED panel with everything you could ask for. Gorilla Glass Victus for the best protection on the front screen, Dolby Vision support so you can enjoy excellent movie watching experience from apps like Netflix, Prime Videos and more. HDR10 support, and that content looks stellar. Thanks to the peak brightness of 1300 nits, the phone's display is easily visible outdoors. The curved display experience was really fun for me. Very rare accidental touches, and the software is tuned to ignore them too. The speakers on this phone are super duper impressive. There are dual speakers, one at the bottom, and the earpiece doubles as a secondary speaker. Initially, I thought that the sound won't be balanced, but I was surprised how good they sound. Clear, crisp, and could get loud enough as well. In fact, you could easily replace a small Bluetooth speaker with these. It's that good. 120Hz adaptive refresh rate is extremely pleasing to the eyes, especially when you're scrolling through the interface or swiping on your favorite social media app. It can dynamically adjust the refresh rate between 1Hz to 120Hz. Imagine always on mode with just 1Hz, which eventually leads to much better battery life. And that's something we don't see very often in other phones. The interface is a mixed bag. Let's start with what I liked. So firstly, it's running Android 13, which is great. Snappy, responsive, and that's what we can expect from Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipset. I'm not a hardcore gamer to tell you the truth, but throw whatever game you have and you'll be able to handle it with ease. It will heat up a little while gaming, but not to the extent of being uncomfortable. A fellow YouTuber who also reviewed the 11 told me that it can achieve full 120 frames while gaming, which if you think of it is crazy. Then the fastest RAM, LPDDR5X RAM, and that too, this one comes with 16 GB RAM on board, and further you can expand it by 12 GB, giving you a whooping 28 GB RAM on the phone. Absolutely unbelievable. Even my laptop on which I edit 4K videos has 16 GB RAM. Here I have 16 plus 12 in my hand. Stellar. I would also like to take a minute and talk about the haptics. Undoubtedly one of the best. It can mimic movements in 2 directions at once, and it's all thanks to the biggest haptic motor on any Android phone. So precise yet subtle feedback. Totally next level, trust me. The interface overall is really smooth and quick, but I miss the raw Android experience. There are no bloatwares on this phone for sure, but Oxygen OS has recently adapted a skin which personally I'm not a fan of. I know, I'm nitpicking, but still just saying. Nothing will hamper your user experience in any way though. The simplest fix for that for me was the Nova launcher with this Nebula theme. Absolutely loving it. The fingerprint scanner is under the display and frankly perfectly placed for a change. It's not too high and it's not too low. It's quick, responsive and worked really well. However, when the display is turned off and the phone is placed on the table, you might miss out on the exact location. But with time, you'll know where exactly it is. The battery life is probably one of the biggest reasons for me to switch to the OnePlus 11 as my primary driver. Though you get the usual 5000 mAh battery, it would last me a day and a half to even sometimes 2 days. A high resolution 120Hz display with stellar battery life. Clubbed with the 100-watt charger, I would get my day's juice in less than 15 minutes. OnePlus 11 totally nails it in the battery department. Coming to the cameras, starting with the rear, all Sony sensors with Hasselblad color collaboration. And what impressive output! You can see a drastic improvement in image quality compared to its predecessors. 50 megapixel wide shots, perfect colors, excellent dynamic range, it does a brilliant job. Here are some ultra wide, again similar color science, capturing every detail so well. Here are some night shots, again really clear and crisp. In fact, we shot a video in the night and it's wow. OIS comes with full throttle with steady mode to capture handheld videos. I'm running with my phone in the hand, it's super smooth. Here are some taken with the 16 megapixel front camera. It's the kind of camera that gets every shot so well. You can record videos from the rear camera at 8K at 24 FPS and only full HD at 60 FPS from the front camera. Frankly, I'm glad it comes with 8K capabilities, but just full HD on the front camera is a little disappointing. And I can say that as a creator myself. In a time where front cameras are used more than ever before, we surely needed 4K. Though I must add that the full HD video clarity is excellent from the front sensor. Alright, final thoughts. The OnePlus 11 is so close to perfect when it comes to hardware and experience. They even future-proof the device with Wi-Fi 7, the storage type is UFS 3.1, the fastest CPU out there, Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, then there's LPDDR5X RAM. It's the best of best out there. But remember, it lacks a wireless charging and 4K video recording from the front camera. These are the only 2 things that I truly miss. But again, a lot of you might not even need it. It's a phone that I can easily recommend. In one line, it's a no-nonsense phone. Everything on this works like a charm. It starts at 56,999 for an 8GB RAM, 128GB storage variant and 61,999 for a 16GB RAM, 256GB storage variant. Pick the higher variant if you can spare 5K extra. It's something you shouldn't even think once. I'll share the purchase links of all the variants below in the description. If you'd like to buy one, you should definitely check it out. So I hope this video was helpful. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Until next time, cheers.